Before I start this tutorial, have you considered subscribing? Now I know what you're thinking. That's crazy. However, this YouTube channel has access to over 3 different tutorials and unlimited learning experiences. So, in conclusion, subscribe. Alright, welcome back everybody. So today we are going to be making a Stranger Things themed title sequence. So we're not going to be making the entire full sequence. We're making a very quick and simple stylized title that we're going to make in Davinci. So this is what it's going to look like, our final product. So as you can see, it's not crazily animated, but it gets the job done. So anyway, let's jump right into Davinci. So you can see I have a new project here. I got 2 timelines set up, but just ignore those. So with your timeline here, we're going to start off by going into our effects and finding a fusion composition. We're going to make this. So if we drag that on, that'll create a new fusion composition so we can make all our graphics in this. I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to go ahead and increase the duration. I will just put 10 seconds in here possibly. So we'll just go 10 and there we go. It's going to be 10 seconds. All right. So with that, we'll click on it and go into Fusion. So now here in Fusion, what we want to do is obviously start out with a text. So if you hold down Shift and then spacebar, it will bring up the search menu for you to search for new nodes. So obviously we want to start with a text node. Now we don't want a 3D text, we just want a text plus. So go ahead and click on that and add. Now once we have our text here, we'll go over here and let's type in some random message. I will write Alexi forever.
He's murdered many children.
What?
Yeah, he's a true psychopath.
Alright, for the font, we're going to use, what is it? It's Benguiat, or it's pronounced something like that, Ben. Now, this does not come with Davinci Resolve. What you have to actually do is go ahead and download this font. If you never downloaded a font before, the website I got this off was DaFont. That's D-A and then font. That's a good website where you can download free fonts. All you do is download it for free, then you open up the file, and your computer will usually have a program that opens up fonts, and then you'll see an install button. Just click that install button and it will install it onto your computer, so you can use it in any program. Of course, you'll probably have to restart Davinci Resolve in order for it to actually take effect. So anyway, let's go ahead and click on that, and right now we don't have it plugged into our media out, so just drag it into our media out here, and now you can see we've got that nice font, and we'll open up the size a little bit, take it up, and let's go into our shading elements. So with shading elements, you have all these different elements, and you can have up to 8 different ones, and you can click on different ones and enable them. By default, only the first one is enabled. So basically, they're just different properties. So like you can have them blocked in, the appearance, so you can have multiple different appearances layered on top of each other, and that's why there's so many different ones. So you can have one of these be an outline and another one be a fill for the actual text. So right now we're just going to be using one shading element for this tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and just click outline. And that is our Stranger Things look. So it looks really nice. So we're going to go ahead and bring down the thickness a little bit. And then also let's change the joints to sharp, because that's how the actual Stranger Things title intro is. They have sharp corners. Then, of course, we have to go and change this to red. Or we can make it blue. We can make it whatever we want. But we're going to go with red. Alright, so let's go ahead and drag this out and give us a little bit more room. So the first thing that we want to apply onto this is a glow effect. So if you do shift space again while this is selected, it'll bring this up, and let's go with a glow. So click on a glow, add that, and already it starts to glow a little bit. So let's bring up our glow a little bit and bring up the size of it a lot. So right now we have it over a transparent background, but as soon as you put it into a composition, it's on, when you have nothing behind it, it's going to be a black background. So it looks really nice right there. Now obviously we have a long ways to go. So with our glow sized and glow up, it's looking pretty good already. But the next thing we want to add to it is a grain. So go ahead and click on this, shift spacebar again, and type in film and film And let's click on grain. So if we go ahead and click that, we will see that it adds a grainy effect to this. So if you hold down Control and zoom in, you can see it starts to add this kind of grainy effect. Now we can bring up the size of these grains. I like it personally to be pretty small. I like it right around there. Increase the strength. You don't want to go too crazy with these. And then the roughness of them. Now if you zoom out, you can see it has a really strong effect. If we go back to the edit page, you can see how gradient it's gotten. So I'm going to bring down the strength just a little bit, and I think that's starting to look pretty nice. So right after that, we want to add film damage. So if you click shift space again, type in film again, we're going to go to film damage. Now this will add kind of a sort of now this will add some dirt effects and some damaging effects that gives it kind of the VHS look from Stranger Things. So I'm going to make this is all on a black background, so I'm going to make my dirt color a little brighter, but I'm not going to make it completely white. So if you go into the edit page, you'll start seeing these white dirt specks come up. However, we got to go into our dirt density and increase that a little bit, increase the dirt size a little bit, and mess with these settings until you think they're pretty good. I like them to be a little blurry. There you go. Now you can see the dirt starting to show up. So we'll go there. I like it to be pretty big. And if we go to the edit page, you can see the dirt starting to show up. So I think I'll bring down the blur just a little bit. The density, I'll bring that down a little bit. And I think that's starting to look nice. If you press play, you'll see the dirt flicker around. And then also it has these damage lines that kind of scroll across the screen. So I think overall that looks pretty nice. So we'll go back to our Fusion clip. Now I like to give it a little bit of a film blur here. That kind of gives it a little bit gradual. You can see how it's gotten blurry. Now when I do blur it a little bit, it gets rid of the grain a little bit. So actually what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take my film grain. I'm going to double click these wires to disconnect it, and I'm going to put the film grain after the film damage. That way this takes priority and we can get that graininess over the blur. So then if we do that and then bring down our strength a lot and our roughness, now if we go back here, it gives it a really nice blur effect, but it's also really grainy. So that's looking pretty nice here. Now, the last and final thing that I want to put on this is a vignette. So if you go ahead and add that, finally, that will give it a little bit of darkness around the edges. The film damage does that a little bit, but we want to add a little bit more with this. So we'll increase the size a little bit. The softness I like to bring up a little bit. And if we go to the edit, it gives that nice little dark area around the sides. I might actually bring up... maybe bring down the softness a little bit and see how that comes out. Yeah, that's starting to look pretty nice. So just mess with it until you're happy. And that is looking really nice. Now, the final thing that we want to animate with it is give it a little bit of a tracking animation. So if you go ahead and go to the very end of your animation and click on your text here, you want to go to our text area and go down to tracking. Now add a keyframe at the end of your timeline here. And basically this is the end position you want your text to be in. Now if you go to the front, what you can do is add another keyframe and open up the tracking a little bit. That way the letters will start coming together. So I'm going to go ahead and just spread those out just a little bit. And now if we go back to the edit page and click play, we will see there's a nice dirt flickering effect. Obviously it has to render, and it comes out really nice. And to make it even better, I'm going to go ahead and actually have the size of it shrink a little bit. So at the front, I will add a keyframe. At the end, I will add another keyframe and shrink it just a little bit. That way it gives it that intense kind of zooming out, however. So then we go to our edit page. If I go ahead and render it out, this is our final product. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I know it's not the full title sequence, however, I think you can do a lot with this, and it's really fun to make, and I really hope you liked it a lot, and this was helpful. So if you like this, please subscribe. It really would help me out a lot, because I only have 119 subscribers at the day of this video, but that's okay. Anyways, thanks for watching, share this video, and have a good day.